What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Run It Up podcast. Oh, nope, that's not how it goes. I'm nervous. I don't know how to act around him. My
You
name
feel me?
is Najee Adams. I'm your host, and I got my guy with me today. It's been a long time coming, but the man, the myth, the motherfucking legend, Justice Gregory. How you doing, bro?
No, I'm good, bro. What's up?
I'm
Happy to be
chilling.
back.
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. My son Khalil could not make it today, but we are not doing the solo pod because Justice can make it. So we got a little dynamic trio going on, but we got
Hmm.
two here today. Feel me? It's been a while. We had to take like 3 weeks off because I went to All Star Weekend and I was all messed up after that. But we're cool now. You feel me? So we're back. We've been talking about football for like the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, but this is our first basketball pod of like this NBA season, which is kind of crazy because it's like March.
Bring the experts in.
But yeah, but we're locked in. You feel me? So to be completely honest, this is going to be a full basketball pod. Me and Justice have not really talked basketball with each other, so I don't really have any clue how this man feels about the NBA season. I know like his overarching thoughts on like players, like I know his bare minimum on like basketball, just because like we've talked about basketball for I want to say like 2 years now. But
Yeah.
this season itself, no clue. So this should be fun. Just to give you a little
Don't get it
rundown.
confused though. We have talked to each other.
No, yeah, we have talked to each other
I don't.
because I don't know if you want to break it to them. We're gamers.
We're gamers. So hell divers, join the mission, sir.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, salute, my boy.
Salute.
I didn't even know about the game, bro. I'll just say, bro, I had no clue what Helldivers was, and Justice was like, "Yo, I got a PlayStation." I'm like, "All right, cool. We about to be on 2K, even though that's crossplay the whole time. We about to be on Call of Duty. I also think that's crossplay. Like, we about to play regular games." And then he's like, "Nah, bro, you got to get Helldivers." I'm like, "Brother, I don't
What?
know what that is." So I looked it up. I was like, this looks like it, some bullshit. And then I looked up a YouTube video and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. And the comments was saying that they was playing for 40 hours. I was like, all right, this sounds fun. So I got it. And then we haven't played in a while because I've been kind of busy at night and shit. But we was locked in for like a good 3 days.
Now we lock back in tonight.
Yeah. We're locked in tonight. Lakers not playing is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so a rundown of what this pod is going to be. We're going to go over our top. It was supposed to be top five, but I came underprepared. So I got my top three takeaways of the NBA season.
That's so transparent. That's so nice.
Transparency is key. Top three takeaways of the NBA season so far. Top 10 power rankings. And then we're doing three plant your flags. Neither of us know what each other have bought. So if you don't know how plant your flag works, I'll explain it when we get there. But it's basically just one of us gives a prompt and we, give our opinion and choose one way or the other. Um, and so, yeah, before we get into everything, make sure you guys subscribe to Run It Up Podcast on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. Everything is at the Run It Up Podcast or at Run It Up Pod, specifically on Twitter. You can find me at Najee Adams _ Justice at J Reed _ right? That's it.
I don't know anymore.
Neither do I. It'll be in the description and close at below 44. Like I just said, everything I just said will be in the description. Just go down there and check it out. Click the little link. Before we get into everything, we got to go song of the week. And since you've not been here in a while, so I need to hear what your song of the week is, brother.
The year is 2024. The song's year is 2021. Oh, hold on. I got a special guest coming, bro. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
You say hi?
You say hi?
Say hi.
Hi. Hi, Kai. What's up, buddy? I know we've never really met before, but like we kind of have a little bit. Song of the week. Talk to me, brother.
Yeah, year 2024. Song is from year 2021. So going back just a couple days. The name of the song is What You Got by Quail P. Quail P.
Boom. We're back because I have no clue what that song is and I've never heard it in my entire life. And I can't even play it because that those good days are over. But it'll be in the description down below.
You'll listen to it.
Exactly. And if you guys are seeing this now and my camera looks a little bit weird, I don't exactly know why it is, but hey, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And my song of the week, it comes off Meek Mill's little EP. It's called the EP's Heathenism. Heathenism. And the song is Times Like This. I don't usually like. I used to love Meek Mill music, but like recently, it's been kind of falling bad for me. But this little EP put out, I'm rocking with it. I'll be honest. So if you haven't heard that, go check it out. Times like this, it'll be in the description down below. And so yeah, that is song of the week, and we can go ahead and dive into the NBA stuff. Like I said before, I have not really spoken to Justice about his thoughts on the NBA this season. So we're starting with our top 3 takeaways from the NBA this year. Justice, I just want to know, what are your thoughts on how the league has been through March? Give me one of your takeaways.
So you said 3. I brought 5. You said 5.
So
you brought 3. I brought 5.
you've got an extra 2, so
Yeah,
you've been
yeah,
off
yeah.
the pod for 2 months. So there's your
Yeah,
extra 2.
right. So the one that I'm going to throw out first is this Warriors era with Steph Curry. That door is slammed shut. That shit's not ever happening again.
I wasn't prepared for a large statement, so I love this. So say it again for me. I had the water in my mouth.
The Steph Curry Warriors championship era, the door on that time is slammed shut. That shit is wraps. It'll never happen again.
So you don't think the Warriors ever? You think Steph stays at 4 rings, never wins another ring in his career?
I'm not saying he'll never win another ring.
That's true, but not with the Warriors.
The Warrior era is over. They got too much money tied up in Dre, too much respect for Clay to really make him not take a good deal, unless he's like a good enough guy to say like, you got it. Which if you listen,
you're not rocking with the Kuminga era.
I like Kuminga. Kuminga's good. He's fine. That team's not winning shit. And that's not like the attraction it was. People don't want to go play with Draymond and Clay. Right now, it's like Steph and Kuminga are your 2 best players. They've got money tied up in Wiggins, although I think he's a free agent, or he's an expiring after this year.
I think he's an expiring after this year.
So he'll be tradable, which is good for them. I don't know who's buying on Wiggins, but to clear the cap space, that'd be nice. In general, I just think the Warriors are done. I think that era is over, and that we can appreciate it for what it was. I'm glad to say it's over. I hate them. And that's it.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I was actually going to ask you later in the episode. You know what? That's a new tab. I'll address your tab first. I also agree that the Warriors era, as it is currently constructed, is probably over. Right now, they're 33-28. They got that chip 2 years ago. I don't really see a path for them to be a contender in the next 2 or 3 years, right? And I think Steph is always going to give you a baseline of like competitiveness. But like at some point, like the rest of the league is now good enough that baseline has lowered. So like Steph is great enough to win you 38 games, 39 games a year, but like that's a play-in team. At this point, like you need good pieces around you at that point. I don't know that the Warriors are like constructed good enough to get those pieces. Like they don't really have a ton of trade assets. Like, cool, you give up Kuminga. I don't really know what Kuminga nets you. Clay has basically no trade value. Dre also, I don't know what team's giving you anything good for Dre. Like I just don't think that Moses Moody cool. Like
not cool.
I don't really think they're netting you anything great. Like they had Jordan Poole and they turned it into Chris Paul. Like I think that there had to be some more forethought there. But yeah, I would agree. I think this Warriors era is totally over. I was actually going to ask you later in the pod, do you think KD, LeBron, Steph, do you think how many rings do you think the rest of them combined win in their career? In the rest of their career, actually.
One.
Between those 3. 1 ring, rest of their entire careers.
I mean, I just got to think logically about it, bro. I mean, Steph's what, 34?
I think he's 35.
KD's 34?
If Steph's 35, KD is 35. LeBron's 40.
Yeah. So, like, for me to logically think about it, I think this is, and we'll get into this when we jump into like our power rankings and whatnot. But actually, that leads me into my next point.
I was going to tell you to rattle off 2, so then we can go back and forth. So perfect.
The Suns are 100% contenders.
Oh, okay. I think I differ with I think they're contenders. They're in my top 10 power rankings. I just don't. When we talk like contender, pretender kind of things, I think they're in the pretender rank, like
Nah,
of teams.
nah.
Okay,
They've
so
been
tell
on
me
a
why.
burner, bro. I mean, the initial statement you have to make is they have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and then the luxury of Bradley Beal.
Mm-hmm.
They made the right pieces. Grayson Allen's playing the best basketball of his career. Their defense is only getting better every month of the season, and that's a Frank Vogel thing. That's what he prides himself on. I just think that you have a chance in any series that you walk into with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And if that's the case, if you have a chance in any series, I think you're a contender.
No, I mean, I get that. I think, I think there's probably tiers to it for me, right? Like, I think like I said, I think they're a top 10 team in the NBA. But like, if I'm rattling off my 10 favorite teams to win the chip, I can't not say them. But like, when I look at the rest of the West, I just don't really trust them to beat at least the Thunder and the Nuggets. I don't think I'd take them
See,
in a series.
I think they beat the Thunder.
I don't think they beat the Thunder. I think they beat the Wolves, especially now without Cat.
Well,
I think
Anthony Edwards just got hurt too.
just got hurt too. So no, it might. I'm saying if the Wizards have Ant and Cat, I would probably still take the.
If the Wizards have Ant and Cat, that's
the Wizards have Ant and Cat. A lot of shit is happening.
The rebuild is expedited expeditiously.
If the Wolves have Ant and Cat, I'm probably taking the Wolves to beat the Suns. But if they, I mean, obviously, if they don't have Ant and Cat, I'm not taking them to beat anybody. But
right.
let's just say they have Ant and not Cat.
I think the Wolves are a first round exit without Cat in general.
I think I think teams are now purposely trying to position to play the Wolves, which is kind of tough because like you don't know how 1 to 3 will fall yet. So like you're just kind of bullshitting. But I mean, yeah, if they don't have Cat, I think the Wolves are a first round exit easily. I think the Suns take is interesting though. I'm not a Suns guy.
I am. I'm a believer.
I'm not a Suns guy, and I can't even really tell you why. Like I just don't think that when the playoffs come, they're gonna be that successful of a team. And granted, they've been on a heater lately. Jusuf Nurkic is grabbing fucking 31 rebounds against the Thunder and all kind of crazy shit. But like, and what, they're 20-9 in their last. No, they're not. They're 20-9 in 10-point games. But they've been on a heater. Their defense is getting better. Their offense is like middle of the pack. They're like 12th or 13th or something like that. But like when you have Devin Booker and KD and Bradley Beal, like your offense is
you're fine.
5. You're good. You're
good. You're gonna score.
You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know. I'm not a Suns believer, but I get the take. Like if you go into a playoff series and you're looking at the other team and it's KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, you're like, all right, we might be fine.
we're in for one.
And
that's the way I feel about it. I'm gonna rattle off the next 3 for you though. So this is like a 2 young guy situation. Shai is one of the 5 most valuable players in basketball.
Okay.
Wemby is 100% generational.
Mm-hmm. And I know we had been like iffy on it.
Yeah, I was.
So
now the third one is not. Bucks need another year.
And this is why you're my man's, because outside of the Suns take, I'm totally aligned. I think the Bucks need another. Their defense is just horrific. Like their perimeter defense specifically horrific. And what do you expect when you have Malik Beasley and Damian Lillard as your backcourt? I mean, that's what you've gotten yourself into. So I agree. They probably need another year. I don't think necessarily Doc was the right move. Whatever.
No, that was stupid. I don't understand.
I don't get why you go from Adrian Griffin to Doc. Like even if Adrian Griffin isn't a great coach, mid-season coaching changes just typically don't really work out that well unless you're LeBron. So like, I don't think that's going to go well for them. The next one was Wemby. I wanted to put Wemby in here in one of my takes so bad, but I ended up not. He's in something later. He's in one of my plant your flags, but in the first 2 things we're doing, he's not in here. And so I'm glad you brought him up. I was iffy on Wemby, as you were as well. We were both kind of like, big 7'6" guy, whatever, 7'4". They're injuries, blah blah blah. He's elite.
He's unreal, bro.
He's elite. I don't know. He's not even. I did a comparison graphic for FanDuel the other day. I was like comparing him through his first 55 games to like Shaq through his first 55 games. And they were like damn near neck and neck. And Shaq was playing 38 minutes and Wemby plays 28 minutes. Like he's not even playing 30 minutes and he's putting up like 3.5 blocks, steal a game, shooting 34% from three. Like
it makes me sick.
This is the worst he'll ever be.
Yeah, he makes me sick, bro.
Like this is insane. He's 1,000% generational. So we're definitely aligned there. And then the Shai thing. You said he's a top 5 most valuable player in the league.
Not like he's top 5 in MVP rankings. Like in terms of player value, he is top 5.
And what makes you say that?
There's just not 5 guys I would take to start my organization before Shai.
Oh, okay. And I love that conversation. And it comes up a lot in like NBA discourse. But like, I do think it's an interesting thing because there's just so much talent in the league. And like, could I think of 5 guys I would take to? I think I probably could, to be honest.
Nah, try.
Luka, Wemby,
Jokic.
Tatum.
You can say Jokic because he's still around.
Okay, Luka, Wemby, Tatum, Jokic. I probably wouldn't take Ant.
I think Tatum's iffy, bro.
Ooh, because what my number one takeaway is about Tatum and the Celtics. So I've been a Tatum guy though. So
no, me too. I think Tatum's phenomenal, but that doesn't. What does Tatum do that separates him from Shai?
I just think he gets a bad rap a lot of the time because he does ghost in these like scenarios that don't really matter that much.
No, they don't.
In the regular season. Like they don't necessarily matter that much, but people love, ooh, Dean Wade hit a couple threes. Who gives a fuck? Like they don't care. It's a middle of March. But I just think I'd probably rather have Tatum because we always talk about, specifically, I've had this conversation with you the most about like when you look at championship teams in history, like what is the thing that they have in common? And it's always like a dominant wing. And so like I just typically lean more towards a wing and like their ceiling. So that's why I would probably lean with Tatum in that scenario. And then when it comes to 5, I do think you toss Shai, you toss Ant, you toss for me Paolo. Like those are the kind of guys you like toss in that mix.
You almost said Chet right there, didn't you?
I almost did say Chet. How you know? I almost did say Chet. Ja for me. I'm a big Ja guy. I think a lot of people have forgotten what he was doing.
No, I don't forget Ja, bro. I don't forget
like,
Ja.
I would probably put Ja in there. Like, I think it's a toss-up at 5. But
by the way, I think the gap for me personally, the gap in like taking Shai and Ant is like exponential. By the way.
Oh, really?
And I understand that Ant has become like NBA fans.
He's everybody's favorite player.
Yeah, everybody loves Anthony Edwards.
Everybody's favorite player.
I'm not saying I don't. The Jordan comps, little out there to me.
They've always been out there.
The Jordan comps, little out there to me. I know he had like a cool little Team USA thing where he like put the team in his back, you know. And what Ant has done, and the way that he's grown, what he's done defensively, first of all, from when he entered the league to now, has been light years. But Shai is still a better defender. Shai is still a more efficient scorer. Shai is still a better playmaker. I mean, and Shai's got his franchise way ahead of the timeline than what they were even planning on. And then you have Ant, who's playing with 2 max guys.
Yeah, Gobert
like
nuts.
Yeah, I mean Gobert's been phenomenal though.
He has been, but just
gonna win DPOY.
Max guy is good.
Yeah, no, he's a max guy. And Cat is an otherworldly offensive talent. We've had this conversation so many times. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about Karl Anthony Towns and how lame he is and how many times his voice changes. He is an elite offensive talent, and he is a mismatch for every team in the NBA. So do with that what you will. Shai is the focal point every night of what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And this is no offense to J-Dub, who I think is on his own team with his own usage is a 27 point per game guy. I think J-Dub is an all-star. Undoubtedly, I think he'll be an all-star. Chet is amazing. Neither of them are better than Karl Towns right now. So like it's just
Chet is amazing. J-Dub and Chet. Yeah.
They're better than Karl Towns. And their supporting cast is perfect for what they do. Cason Wallace was the absolute perfect pick. Again, it's another case of close your eyes and just take a Kentucky guard, and there you go. You've got it. But I just think
the guy right here. He was at the game last night, baby.
Go Cats, you feel me? I just watched another elite Rob Dillingham watched another elite Kentucky guard last night that somebody's gonna take with a top 5 pick. and he's going to be phenomenal. It's just this is what we do over here, okay? But again, I just think Shai has moved the timeline for his team exponentially faster than they planned on, and I think that he is a better cornerstone to a roster. I also side with his play style. I love how efficient he is. He's one of the best defenders at his position. He's still big for his position. I mean, 6'5" is 6'5". I think
a Russell
Shai
height, baby.
I really D'Lo said he got 2 left feet and can't jump, still busting your favorite players.
No, all jokes aside, his podcast is one of the best produced athlete podcasts I've ever seen. Like, it is actually good as fuck.
Yep. And it's cool to have that access to like our favorite player. To, like get to watch D'Lo pod is really sick.
I'm in the Discord, bro. I was chopping up, my boy.
That's hilarious. But no, but all this aside, like there is truly a gap. I think Shai is at 4 or 5. I think you could go either way with him or Tatum and not pick wrong. And then you jump to like the Ants, Palos, like those types of guys. Nah, bro. I mean, what did Book ever lead the Suns to do?
Giannis?
Giannis is what, 28?
Yeah, I want to say he's 28.
28, 29. I would probably still take Shai at what, 25?
Giannis is 29. Shai is 25. Yeah.
Yeah, I would take the next 9 years of Shai before I took the next 9 years of Giannis.
Okay. Okay. But if Giannis, I think we both agree Giannis is top 2 player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Will Shai ever be a top 2 player in the world?
Yeah, it could be.
And how long will Giannis continue to be a top 2 player? Like, let's say Giannis is top 2 for the next 5 years still until he's 34. Like, if Shai is not top 2 within the next 5 or 6,
Giannis has some stiffer comp than he did. Like, it's not as clearly because he was 1 for me 2 years ago. Then Jokic did what Jokic did, and he's just undeniable at that point. But like Luka's right there, bro. Luka gets better every year.
Anthony Davis? No, I'm playing.
So, anyways, type shit. That on my face. But anyways, that actually, I mean, it's just like I can't fathom how good Shai is. Every time I watch the Thunder, and he's not going to give you 50, he's going to give you 30.
31.
Every night. 30 to 37 is where he's going. But he's probably one of the 3 best rebounders of his position. He's still going to get you 7 assists every game.
Can get you at least a steal a night. Maybe 2.
Maybe a block. Just throw it in there. And he's the centerpiece of a young team that is at the top of the Western Conference that is absolutely disgustingly good. Like the top of a Western Conference that has like LeBron and Anthony Davis at the 9.
Yeah. Okay. 10 right now. Ooh.
Yeah. What? Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's like Shai is doing that. So, and
I don't think it's crazy at all to say he's if you were like doing the whole start your franchise, Shai would be top 5. I think that's totally reasonable. It doesn't really take me into my first takeaway, but I mean, segue is a segue. So my first takeaway is that it is Jayson Tatum and the Celtics year, and I'm a Laker fan, as pretty much everyone that listens to this podcast knows. And so for me, I don't really have the same like fuck the Celtics thing that like a lot of old head Laker fans do, because like, cool, when I started watching basketball in 2008, we was nice. We lost to the Celtics. We beat the Celtics, and that was really it. Like, there was no Larry Bird, Magic, all of that. That I didn't live through that. So like, I don't got that. You feel me? Like, I feel the rivalry of like wanting to get 18 before they do. But like, that's really it for me. And so like, it hurts to be like the Celtics will probably win the chip this year, but like, they are easily, in my opinion, the best team in the league. I said earlier, I was looking up how like good they have been and like how good Tatum has been. And I'll start with my Tatum take. I think I said earlier, he gets a lot of shit for like ghosting games, whether it be, like meaningless regular season games or like having stinkers in the playoffs. Like, but for the most part, like he's been really good. Like 7 years in the league, 7 playoffs. If assuming they make the playoffs this year, which they're gonna make the playoffs this year, duh.
They're probably locked at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And he's 52 and 42 in the playoffs, averages 24. In the 4 years he's been the number one option, he's never averaged less than 25. And so, like, if we look at other players' starts to their careers, right? Like in Michael Jordan's first 6 seasons, he had 24 playoff wins. Say what you want. LeBron had 56. He's an outlier. He's insane. Steph had like 62 or something crazy like that. Kobe had 57. Tim Duncan had 52. Yet again, Tatum has 52. So, like, if you look at the players that he's in these conversations with, it's like top 10 all-time guys. And
okay, hold on. Who's the outlier in that conversation, by the way, that we just had?
Who did I say? Tatum, LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Jordan and Steph?
By situation, who's the outlier there?
By situation?
LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one that, had to come in and be that very best player on this team.
He didn't have David Robinson. He didn't have.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you don't gotta tell me who the.
I'm just saying, if you're a listener and you're on that Jordan shit, get off of it.
Get off it. Oh, he has 6 rings. He played for 15 years.
I don't care, bro. That's 6-ring shit, bro.
He played for 15 years. Someone tell me what happened the other years, please. They act like he just won every year, but.
And go watch a game. Watch how bad they were at basketball.
Bro, anyway. I just saw some shit today that was like Jordan had 50 on the Knicks, and it was like Patrick Ewing highlights. And I swear to God, he looked like Clint Capella.
Okay, that was disrespectful though, because that was after Pat's.
Like
I get that. That was after Pat's knee issues. Prior to Pat's knee issues, he was him, bro.
One of my friends is a Knicks fan, and he was pissed that I tweeted that. But like, come on, bro. If that's what we doing, his number one rival was Clint Capella. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that's Jordan. That's everybody's GOAT. Come on.
He ducked Akeem for 2 years, but whatever.
But but yes, LeBron's the outlier there. Back to Tatum, though. 2 50-point playoff games in the last 3 seasons. That's crazy. One of only 2 players to do it since 2020. Trivia question. Do you know who the other guy is?
LeBron.
No, it was in the bubble. Think about the bubble. Who was going crazy in the bubble? It's not TJ.
Are you? I was about to say TJ Warren.
He's on the Nuggets.
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray had 50 twice. 50. I was looking. I was like, "What the fuck?" But then I remember, yeah, he was cooking.
Did LeBron do that prior to like 18?
I had it pulled up, but now it's gone. But he has won in like the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jamal Murray is the last one to do it.
Jamal Murray and Tatum since 2020 are the only 2 people to do it twice.
Donovan Mitchell didn't do it?
He did it, but he hasn't done it twice. That's the outlier. They've done it more than once, Tatum and Jamal Murray. Since outside the bubble, it's just been Tatum, though.
Okay. Right.
Right. And then, and then people like to talk about the whole he hasn't won anything, but like what 26-year-old guy has? He made his first NBA Finals at 24. It was a bit of a stinker, and it wasn't really a stinker. Like, yeah, the Warriors were just a better team that year. It was Steph, Draymond, Clay. They was on a revenge tour, whatever it may be. He didn't win. Cool. LeBron didn't win his first Finals either. KD didn't win his first Finals either. Like,
D-Wade did.
D-Wade did. But it doesn't always go like that. Like, in my opinion, I think they win this year. He'd have his first ring at 26. LeBron was 27. Steph was 27. Jordan was 28. KD was 28. Like, he's on pace for an insane career.
Perfectly on pace.
And even this season, he's putting up 27, 9, and 5 on 48, 37, 83 percentages. Like, he's insanely good scoring the ball this year.
I've got a crazy plan for you. The plant my flag is going to be nuts for you in the conversation that we're going to have. It involves Tatum.
My plant your flags are pretty like normal, so I cannot wait for you. And then like I'll end the Tatum thing. He's amazing. The Celtics, they've got the best record in the NBA. 5.5 games better than every other team. The playoffs are going to go through Boston. They're 29-3 at home. Their first loss didn't come till January, and it was to the Nuggets. They've only lost 2 other times. One of them was to us. The other was to the Clippers. And so, like,
one of them was the Austin Reeves.
One of them was also reason D'Lo. so there you go. And like they're top 3 in points per game, top 10 in field goal percentage, top 4 in 3-point percentage, 4th fewest turnovers, 2nd most blocks. Like they are just the overall best team. They have the best average point differential in the league. They have a top 5 point differential in NBA history. The other 4 teams above them all won the chip. The only 2 in modern history above them, the 96 Bulls and the 2017 Warriors. Like they are insanely good compared to every other team. Like I just don't see how the Celtics don't win the chip this year. And so that was my first takeaway, that this is their year. Like they had a great offseason coming into the year. Everyone was like, KP, hell of a pickup. Derek White, they shipped out Malcolm Brogdon. They said, hey, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, y'all gonna play a lot of minutes. Cool. Jaylen Brown still don't got no left hand. It don't matter. Horford, play a couple years. Robert Williams, packed up, and they just, consolidated, and now they're just as nice, even better than they were last year. And so, yeah, that was my first takeaway. Celtics are insanely good. Do you have any thoughts on it, or are you kind of like, yeah, you're right?
No, yeah, you're right. But I don't even know if we were potting at this point, or if I had just talked to Khalil about it whenever the trade went down for KP. But the things that has done for them offensively, and the variety it gives them, because it was, and having a guy like Drew, who is just like a luxury.
I didn't even mention Drew. Yes.
Just like a luxury of having Drew Holiday. Like you putting together a perfect offseason for them was literally like, hey, Mark Smart, appreciate what you did for me. Get out. Robert Williams, your knees are so unreliable, it's ridiculous. Go away. Right. And then they're like, hey, give me the 7'3" guy who can shoot from 35 and protects the rim as well as anybody. And then give me the best guard defender in the NBA. Basically give me 2 all-star talents. Like they're starting on just all-stars, like down the line. I mean, whether they're made the team or not, I don't care. But I remember when that happened. This is prior to Drew, because KP was first, correct? And then it was Drew.
Yeah, KP was first. And then I remember being like, no way they got Drew Holiday.
Yeah, when they got KP, I was like, this shit might be raps. And then they got Drew Holiday, and I was like, this shit is raps.
Yeah.
So, I think from the moment the season started, they were the best team in the NBA, and there was never like a moment. Like so many teams go through like the down, like no matter how good you are, like you have your moment where you're like, man, like there's like a glaring weakness here. There's no glaring weakness in Boston.
No.
Name a player who runs on the floor who can't defend.
That's what I'm saying. And like they'll lose a game to the Dean Wade Cavs. They'll lose a game to the Austin Reeves D'Lo Lakers. They'll go wire to wire with the Pistons. But like at the end of the day, when the playoffs come around, who cares? Like,
doesn't matter, bro. All that doesn't matter. The 73-9 Warriors lost to the Lakers, and we were terrible.
Exactly.
Like we were terrible. So it's just like what Boston has done, what that front office did to put Tatum in the best situation possible. Like there was no better way to lock in the fact that Jayson Tatum is never going anywhere, at least for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I would have liked to think so. If he's watching our front office and then he's looking at their front office, I would never even look at the Lakers. I would never even consider them. I didn't want to make this about the Lakers. I don't fuck the Lakers. I'm not talking about the Lakers today.
Wait till you get to play your flag. Ooh,
yeah, I got one for you too. So maybe they will come up. All right, give me to your next takeaway. Celtics are amazing. They're going to win a championship unless something catastrophic happens.
Boom. My next takeaway, we go over to the West, also has to do with the defending champs. I think the Nuggets go back to the finals. I think we get a Nuggets Celtics, not rematch, but they play tonight. I think this is a finals preview that we see. And I think a lot of people this year are kind of all on the Thunder. They like the Timberwolves, but like I think the Nuggets, they don't look as dominant as they did last season, but like most teams don't after a title year. Like and obviously different sport, right? But you look at the Chiefs. Like nobody thought the Chiefs were going to win the chip halfway through the year. Nobody thought they
weren't going to make the playoffs.
There was a chance they weren't going to make the playoffs. People were looking at the AFC West like, hey, the Raiders. Like it doesn't matter. Like, and then the playoffs came around and they had the best player in the world and the other team didn't. And that's what won them the chip. And so like when you look at the Nuggets, that's the same case there. They're 42-20 right now. They were 43-19 this time last year. one game off. Like, and
Yeah.
we saw what happened in that playoff run. They're one game back at a 1 seed, and the teams they're battling with are the Wolves and the Thunder. The West is loaded. I totally agree. But when I look at every other team, when I look at the Wolves, when I look at the Thunder, when I look at the Clippers, the Pelicans, the Suns, the Kings, the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Warriors, am I really looking at any of those teams and being like, yeah, I'm picking them to beat Jokic and the Nuggets 4 times out of 7? I'm not. There's not a team I just said that I can confidently say going into a playoff series, I'm taking them to beat the Nuggets. And so, like, when I look at the landscape of the West, I just can't see a scenario in which we don't get a Nuggets back to the finals. And for me, the Thunder are really the only serious contender there. Like, outside of the Celtics, they're the only team top 5 in offensive and defense. They have a legit superstar in Shai, role players that complement him beautifully, a relatively good coach, good scheme. Like, they're just a good basketball team. But like, I just am not ready to say that they would beat the Nuggets 4 out of 7 times. When I just look at the run they went on last year, pretty much brought everybody back, but, you know, like Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. And I just can't say that Shai and J-Dub and Chet and Josh Giddey and all of them are ready to beat Jokic yet. And so for me, my second takeaway ends up being that the Nuggets go back to the finals.
I'm gonna save it for the power rankings. I don't 100% agree with you. I think the most likely outcome is for the Nuggets to go back. I don't think the second group I would pick is the Thunder.
Ooh, I'm assuming you. Okay, I won't even spoil it. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
And so my third, speaking of the Thunder, my third takeaway is that the Orlando Magic are next season's Thunder. I really like the Magic. I'll be honest. They've got a pretty bad offense, but they're top 5 in defense. They're a young team. They just need guys outside of Paolo Banchero that can score the ball. Paolo leads them in points, rebounds, and assists. Like, he's carrying by all accounts. He and Franz Wagner are the only 2 players above 20 points per game on that team. The next best player is Jalen Suggs at 12.2.
The man.
I think the Magic are a point guard away. Like, they need to find a point guard, a legit point guard, so that Paolo and Franz don't have to run. And we fucking locked. So that, like, Paolo and Franz don't have to run all the offense, and on top of taking on all the scoring load. Like, I don't think Jalen Suggs or Cole Anthony or Markelle Fultz or Anthony Black, I don't think any of them are the answer.
But they're all good options. Like, they're all good.
But they're all good. I just don't think they're the thing that takes the Magic to the next level. And so, like, they're bottom 2 in 3-point attempts. They're dead last in 3-point makes, bottom 6 in 3-point percentage, and bottom 5 in assist percentage. They need a point guard that can come in, facilitate an offense, get guys the ball in good positions, and be a legit perimeter threat. When I look at guys that would go well on the Magic, Tyus Jones is an unrestricted free agent. I don't think he makes them this amazing team. I think he makes them way better, though. If you slot Tyus Jones in with their current setup now, I don't think that's unreasonable. D'Angelo Russell has a player option. He will probably be a free agent. I like D'Lo's fit in Orlando. I do. I think if you put him next to Paolo and Franz and all of them, you have Jalen Suggs to actually guard somebody and not Austin Reeves. Like, I like D'Angelo Russell in that structure.
Relax.
What do you mean?
Relax. Get off Austin, bro.
Hey, they should have traded him. If Lonzo has a player option, obviously we don't know what kind of player Lonzo Ball is.
We don't even need to bring up his name.
I don't even know if he'll play again.
Play basketball.
But like, he will probably take the player option because no team's gonna give him a real thing. But like, in theory, the player that Lonzo Ball is, I would love him on the Magic. Like, he would be such a good fit in my eyes.
So need somebody who he's not the scorer you need him to be.
He's not the scorer you need him to be.
Right.
And then obviously, I think they're a really good destination for Trae Young. Like, they have all of their assets. They have all their firsts up until 2030. They have 2 firsts in 2025 and 2026. They don't have significant money tied up in anybody yet. Like, Trae Young can come in there and elevate that team. You know, like, if anybody trades for Trae Young, I know they're talking about the Spurs. Hey, I had that clip go viral, and I'm the one that tweeted that Wemby and Trae Young was going to be together. But I think that the Magic should seriously consider, like, look, they're going to make the playoffs. Look at this roster and be like, we are a point guard. We see what the Thunder are doing. And like, we might not have a Shai level guy yet, but I believe Paolo can be that, be a top 5 player in the NBA. And if they do too, go invest in a point guard. Go pay D'Angelo Russell $23 million a year. Like,
no, literally the only answer is trade for Trae Young.
That's
the only answer. They've got every asset to do it, bro. They've got every asset to do it.
But I love the Magic, like they're what, I think they're the 4 or 5 seed, and they have one of the worst offenses in the NBA. They hit the least amount of threes in the league, and like they're still extremely competitive. So like, I really do think they're a point guard away, and if they can address that need this offseason, I really like them in the East next year.
Yeah, no, you're right on with me, buddy. I love the Magic. We both know how I feel about Paolo and how I felt about him from day one. So I'm in on Paolo. Although I did like Jabari Smith a lot too. I just think he's in a shit situation.
I'm not necessarily out on Jabari either.
I'm not out on Jabari. I'm out on the Rockets.
Are you out on Jalen Green?
I'm 100% done with Jalen Green.
Okay.
He is J.R. Smith.
We were both in on Jalen Green.
I am out on Jalen Green. He is J.R. Smith. I was not in on Jalen Green. I was in on Cade.
I thought we were both in on Jalen Green. My next question was going to be, are you still in on Cade?
Yes, 100% still in on Cade. You talk about a shit situation. He has no
You
hope.
had like high Cade hopes though.
I still think Cade can be a top 10 player in the NBA.
I thought we had said more than top 10 though.
Right. Yeah. Like initially, I really thought Cade had a Luka type skill set, just not the scorer Luka is at the end of the day. And actually probably not Luka's just Luka, bro. But like the size, the skill set, the jumpers coming along, I think Cade is still going to be special. I just think he's got to find the right situation, whether Detroit can give that to him or not.
The last player I'll ask you if you're out on, because I know we're both in on, is LaMelo Ball. Are you out on Melo? No. Are you still locked in?
LaMelo's so special, bro. Everything about him.
There
we
go. Talk to me. Yes.
LaMelo's so special.
Another shit situation.
They made the 8 seed and there was nobody on the team. LaMelo was like 15.
Exactly. If he had good ankles, they'd be competitive.
LaMelo is, first of all, the most entertaining player in the NBA to watch. And I'm telling you that with 100% like certainty that there's no one I love watching play basketball more than LaMelo Ball. Whether you question his decision making, fine. One of the best playmakers in the NBA. Can fill it up. He's an absolutely lethal 3-point shooter, which was what the concern coming out was that it might be just streaky. No, he can just shoot it. He's a phenomenal finisher, both hands. I mean, he is a mastermind in the pick and roll, bro. And he doesn't even have good roll men. Like he hasn't had a good center since he's been there. And then like you look at like what is he doing? Do you want to play with James Bouknight and do something like really cool, bro? Like, what are we talking about? So I know I'm 100% in on LaMelo. It's another terrible situation. I don't think Jalen Green's a situational. I think Jalen Green is just an inefficient basketball player. So do with that what you will. I think he could be a great spark off the bench for somebody one day.
Okay, cool. This kid's calling him J.R. Smith, literally. He's Lou Will.
Yeah, that's what I think he is. That's what I think he is. What Jalen Green is what I projected Tyrese Maxey to be when he came out. And now Tyrese Maxey has exceeded that, but Jalen Green is literally that. But he looks really cool though. He looks like he can play.
Yeah, he really does. The tat's fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so that moves us to our top 10 power rankings. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Can we plant our flags? Can we plant our flags first?
Oh, we can do plant your flag first. Yeah, go for it. I want to hear yours first. Go for it.
All right.
Are we going 1-1 or are you going?
Yeah, we'll do 1-1. We'll do 1-1.
All right, cool.
Okay. The first one, the Lakers should re-sign LeBron James.
Okay. Now, I've tweeted about this and I'm going back and forth, right? Because like there's times where, LeBron's effort level just isn't there. And like he's 39 right now. By the time the season ends, he'll be 40. He wants to sign like a 2-year deal. He'll be 42, whatever. We're going to be paying him $60 million a year. Like I think that's a little bit absurd, especially for a 43-year-old guy who decides when to turn it on and turn it off and only plays 55 games a year. But then you look at games like the Kings game last night, where it's like, if if LeBron was not a Laker, we would be a bottom 3 team in basketball, bottom 5 team in basketball, because it's not like we could plant our flags on AD. We can't do that. So like that's where I go back and forth, because like if we don't resign him and we go into this new era with AD and
we can't do that.
like if we go into this new era with AD and whatever other star we decide to give LeBron's salary slot to, like I don't know that, like, what does that look like? But if I had to plant my flag one way or the other, I would say that we don't re-sign LeBron. I just can't commit 60 mil to a early 40s-year-old man who only plays half the season, and in those games only plays half the game. Like, so like and that's just where I am with it. I appreciate LeBron for getting us that chip. I think like I cherish watching him play for us, because like when he retires, it'll be sad. I'll be sad, and like that'll suck. But I'll go and watch you play on the Heat, and that'll be cool. Yeah. And we can restart this Lakers, dynasty, because this right now, this ain't it.
All right. I'm glad we're on the same page, because I am 100% playing my flag on not resigning LeBron. I have been on this podcast,
which is a hot take for us, because other Lakers fans are like, LeBron.
Yeah, no, don't care. I've been on this podcast for 2 years asking for us to put an end to this shit that we're watching. It was cool. We had a little run last year. It was neat. It was entertaining. It ain't happening. We're not winning a championship. Who wants to go play with Anthony Davis? What draws Anthony Davis right now? And he's playing the best basketball he has since the bubble. Mm-hmm. Best season he's put together. And he's been healthy.
He's 0-9 versus Domantas Sabonis. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways.
Crazy.
There is no point as a franchise, because they did this with Kobe. RIP. He's right there. But they did this with Kobe. Yeah. They did this with Kobe. And they did we want stars to
be loyal to our stars.
Yeah, we want stars to know we're going to treat them right. They all still pick the Clippers.
Yeah.
Who have no history. And just clearly didn't treat their stars right. They just hated Chris Paul.
They had a horrible owner. Their owner was in scandals.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to be a Clipper. So, good. All right. So, I just, there's no benefit to bringing LeBron for another 3 years, because we're not going to win a championship. You're paying $60 million for no reason to not be able to build a team. You're not going to finish low enough in the draft, because LeBron's going to get you to the play-in to get the draft pick you want. So I don't care if it makes Anthony Davis unhappy. Ship his ass off too. I could care less. Let me watch D'Angelo Russell be the head of the Lakers for 3 more years. I would much rather watch that than watch us sit here and pretend that we're going to contend when we're not. It's over. This is over. LeBron and AD gave us a ring. LeBron's going to get a statue. It's guaranteed. LeBron's going to get his jersey hung up. Guaranteed. He did his part as a Laker, and I'm appreciative of it. It is the greatest sporting moment in my life, was watching us win another championship with LeBron James being like the head of it. But I'm done, and I'm realistic.
And I'm done too, and I'm less realistic than you, and I'm done.
I've been doing this for 2 years. Mm-hmm. If they had put me in the front office, LeBron would have been on Miami 2 years ago. And AD, I would have tried to get Bam out of it. I was like, I'll give you LeBron and AD, just give me Bam.
Bam, D'Lo, and Austin.
Yeah. We're in. But no, that's just like, maybe I want to watch Jalen Hood, Trufino, or whoever, dude.
Brother, oh man.
Like, it's just this front office is so incompetent. Like, we could have had like Jacquez, and like he could have like contributed right away and been like on the wing and played for us, but instead we took a guard when we actually have guards.
When we have guards, we're actually loaded at guard.
Yeah, we actually just have guards, and we're like, hey, I want that guy. Stupid. And he could end up being good. I have no clue, because every time I watch him, he's not. But he doesn't.
In the G League, he'd be scoring 30. So
yeah. everybody scores 30 in the G League. Thanasis could go down there and give you 20 right now. So yeah, we're on the same page, and I'm glad we are because I'm tired of this. I can't do it anymore.
Okay. Well, my first plant your flag, it's also Lakers related. Might as well just get it all out now. Get it out of our system. Mine's is plant your flag. The Lakers won't make the playoffs this season. And so I say that because we're currently the 10 seed and we are 3 games back of 6. And so right now it's a 5-team race for 3 spots. And so it's the Suns, the Kings, the Mavs, the Warriors, and the Lakers. Now, I would imagine you believe the Suns make the playoffs. So it's a 4-team race for 2 spots: Kings, Mavs, Warriors, Lakers. And if the Lakers finish 9-10, then they have to win 2 straight.
No, we're not gonna make the playoffs, bro.
You don't think we make the playoffs?
No, we're not gonna make the playoffs.
So we don't make the playoffs, does Darvin Ham get fired?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
like next day. That report will come out immediately.
I agree. I think I would. I don't know. I have to talk it through, right? Because I think Darvin Ham gets fired, right? I think he should get fired. I don't think he's a good coach. But I also think that people put it a little bit too much on him, right? Like his rotations are not great. I think he might have overthought what our team was, and he struggles to find the right combination of players to be on the floor for the situations that arise, right? Like some nights he plays Cam Reddish, some nights Cam is a DMP CD, some nights Gabe Vincent was playing over D'Lo. We benched Austin and D'Lo for some reason and started 5 wings. I just think he struggles with lineup construction. But there's also a lot of just bad basketball that we play that isn't on him. Players missing rotations, looking lost, lack of effort, just missing open shots, playing no defense. Those are things that maybe you want to say he's lost a locker room, so they don't want to play for him and tie it back to him. But fuck that. If you're on the court, play basketball. And a lot of the time, the Lakers just don't. And so I get Darvin's a bad coach, but it's not all him. When LeBron doesn't box out, he doesn't rebound, he doesn't get back on defense. AD has complete stretches of basketball where he's just non-existent. Austin Reeves, I think the Lakers need to reevaluate what they think he is, period. But whatever, they ask him to be a point guard when he should not be facilitating offense. D'Lo, we know what D'Lo is. He's 28 years old. We know there's no, question mark of what kind of player he is. D'Angelo Russell's the player that D'Angelo Russell is. Rui Hachimura has one move. Give it to him on the post. He's not passing the ball. The ball's going up. And then I just think we're a very one-dimensional team. So do we make the playoffs? When I look at the teams ahead of us, we can't beat the Kings. De'Aaron Fox gives us 40 every time we play because they run
Could have been a Laker.
Shout out. He still thinks that Magic and Lonzo are on the team because he hates them. And so they literally run pick and rolls with Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, and the Lakers have De'Aaron Fox gets to the mid-range and has his way with us every time. And I don't think that we're going to be able to stop that. In a 1-game winner-take-all thing, we're losing. And so I don't know if we beat the Mavs. I look at the Mavs. We don't beat the Mavs. I look at the Mavs in a 1-game scenario. Luka can win you a game. Kyrie can win you a game. Yeah. I get LeBron can win you a game. AD is not winning us a game. And outside of the in-season tournament stuff, do I trust us to go on have we ever had a 3-game stretch of dominance this season? No, outside of the in-season tournament. And that's a completely different team than it is right now. So it's very difficult for me to plant my flag that we don't make the playoffs because I would just be heartbroken, to watch the playoffs and know that we were the 11 seed or the 10 seed and not make it would be tough. So I really don't know. I would probably plant my flag that we make the playoffs, but I don't think that it's going to be pretty. I don't think we're making a run, and I bleed purple and gold. I think that last year I thought we could win the chip. I really did because when you look at the team we were to begin the season, we had Troy Brown Jr. and Russell Westbrook and Wayne Ellington and all those players. When you look at the end of that team past the trade deadline, completely different team. This has been the same team with the addition of Spencer Dinwiddie for the majority of the year. And so, like, they've shown us who they are. They're a 34-30 team that, can barely beat, good teams. Our record versus teams 500 and above is 17-22. That is what we are, and so I don't think we make a run, but I do think we make the playoffs. So that's where I plant my flag. And It feels so good to get my Lakers ran out because I haven't been able to do it. But that's how I feel about the
team. I'm glad I can provide that to you. My next one is about the neighboring team. That they actually live in our arena. The Clippers.
Not for much longer, baby.
The Clippers will be in the Western Conference Finals this year.
I gotta look at how the bracket shapes out because I don't think they're one. I guess if the Wolves are missing their guys, I think they're probably the second best team. I would take them over the Wolves. No, because I wouldn't take them over the Thunder and I wouldn't take them over the Nuggets. So assuming they're on opposite sides of the bracket, I would say they don't make the Western Conference Finals because I would take the Nuggets and I'd take the Thunder over them. But if it works out that the Nuggets and the Thunder have to play each other before the Western Conference Finals, then sure, I would say the Clippers are my third best team.
So I just think the Clippers are really damn good, dude.
You think they're the best team in the West? You do, don't you?
I at least, and I don't think this. I know this. I know they're better than Oklahoma City.
Okay. I don't think so, but okay.
I think if they played in the playoffs, it wouldn't go the way people want it to go.
I mean, it called me crazy. I think the Lakers might beat the Thunder in the playoff series, but that doesn't mean that I don't think they'd beat the Clippers.
No, they're not. They're not beating the Clippers.
I think they're not beating the Clippers. The Thunder they are beating the Clippers.
No, I just don't think they are. I think the Nuggets are the best chance to keep them from getting to the finals. Outside of that, I don't see any other team in the West stopping them. And that was with Minnesota healthy, by the way.
So you're planting your flag that they do make the Western Conference.
That they're in the Western Conference Finals.
And if the Nuggets and Clippers played, who would you take? Because I would take the Nuggets.
Man, Jokic is just so good, bro.
That Clippers team with James Harden, and I know his playoffs, his shit is not it's exaggerated. Like I think that his playoff, he goes exaggerated. Playoff P, say what you want. I also think that's a little bit dragged.
It is dragged, but it was funny. It had its moment.
We know what Kawhi does. He's a different animal in the playoffs. But we also know what Jokic does. Jamal Murray has been a playoff riser. MPJ doesn't miss a wide open shot. KCP's an incredible glue guy. Aaron Gordon was the best player on the Magic 3 years ago. Now he's the fourth best player.
No, that doesn't count for anything. There's a lot of people who would have been the best. Spencer Dinwiddie would have been the best player in the Magic. So I just like when you look at their roster, bro, just the way they're constructed. Like you look at James Harden, who is everything they needed, a facilitator to get so Kawhi and PG didn't have to do everything. They can get off the ball. PG is an accessory. So he's their version of Michael Porter Jr. Mm-hmm. Say what you want about Russ. What he does for them is perfect. The role he plays for them, perfect. They got Bones just sitting out there post up play, which is totally
PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker doesn't play. Who would start for the Lakers?
100%. Would play 30 minutes a night for us.
Then you look at guys like Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, Zubac, Plumlee. Like that is a deep team, bro. And Zubac is like good. Plumlee is good. I would take both of them on the Lakers right now. I would be tearful if I could have them. I think Ty Lue's one of the 3 best coaches in basketball. 100%. And I understand Yoke is Yoke. and I'm not saying I would absolutely 100% like gun to my head, I'd probably pick the Nuggets just because I've seen it. They've done it. But on paper, bro, like this Clippers team is deeper than them. And I think Kawhi can go toe to toe with anybody on the planet. And I think Kawhi, when he's healthy, is probably the second
Put a
best
number
player.
on it. Yeah.
Is probably the second best player in basketball. I think Kawhi healthy is better than Giannis.
Okay.
Like when he's like actually like healthy and like you catch him in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it's gun to your head. You gotta take one of these guys with you to go win a playoff game, Giannis or Kawhi.
I would probably before last season, I would have taken Giannis, but watching him run away from the ball to not take free throws to win the game is ingrained in my head. Like I can't sit here and be like, yeah, you're the best player in the world, and you won't come get the ball to shoot a free throw.
Yeah.
So I would take Kawhi because last year losing to that Heat team, granted they went on to go to the finals, but like that in the way that they lost, that forever corrupted my Giannis view. So yeah, I would take Kawhi.
That's my point. Like outside of Jokic, is there another guy you take? Maybe KD.
Maybe KD, Mr. Embiid, the damn sure ain't him. Luke hasn't really done anything.
He went to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, so did Trae Young. I love I love me some Tatum, but I don't know if I would take him over Kawhi.
I'll tell you right now, and I mean this wholeheartedly, and this is always my question about Tatum and the Celtics. Can Tatum be the best player in any playoff series? And we know how great he is. If I'm saying I got 7 games of him and Kawhi, I'm going with Kawhi.
And I think after this year, we'll know the answer to that for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if we get to the playoffs and he can't do that and they choke it, because like it's set up for them to win this final. Like if they lose, it would be a massive upset.
Then we can have some Tatum discourse.
But they will be the favorite against every team they play. Exactly. West, East, whatever it might be. Yeah, if they 100%. Play the Nuggets, they're the favorites. And so like if he can't do that, then I think I'm ready to be like, all right, maybe he ain't it. But
can he be the best player in the series against Jokic? Can he be the best player in the series against, I don't know, bro, like just like Shai? Are we sure he can be the best player in the series against Shai? Like, which we haven't really seen Shai in the playoffs. Well, we have once, and it didn't go great for him.
He also wasn't the same guy, you know.
No, completely different player. I mean, he was still arriving at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, even out east, can he be the best player in the series against Giannis? Can he be the best player in the series against Dame? Like those are questions that I think like
against Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, like there's like when you talk about these upper echelon guys, and Tatum is there. I don't want this to come off as like Tatum's not this upper echelon NBA player. He's one of the 5 to 7 best players in the world. I'm just talking about I got a playoff series for my life, bro. Like, man, like Kawhi, Yoke, Bron. Like if you wanted to put Bron in there, bro, like you could. KD,
he did everything in his power to get us a game versus the Nuggets. And they were still just like,
nah. So, and that's the scary part about them is like that Laker team was like pretty good. Like
I truly believe we were the second best team in the league. Like if we played that Heat team, I think we would have won the chip last year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But those like real questions, like those like the Jokic's, and I don't question that when they go into a playoff stage if they're going to be the best player in their series. Obviously with Jokic, but like Bron, when was the last time Bron wasn't the best player in a series? Jokic, when he played the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Every series prior to that, he's the best player. KD, I think he's going to be the best player every series I watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Kawhi, I think he could be the best player in every series in general, just from what he does on both sides of the ball. So I think the Clippers are super dangerous. I know for a fact Kawhi would be better than Shai in a playoff series, and I would probably side with the Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook side of just the experience of being there. And like they've all been through battles, they've all had runs. So I just think that Thunder team might be a year early, like
Yeah,
1 year early.
I don't blame you. I think going into the season, I thought that a lot of people were too high on the Thunder, and now I've kind of leveled out with them. But for me, it's more like the body of work that they've shown us has been like it's not like they've just been a fluky team. Like they've been a good team, legitimately
100%.
like good, and they've beat good teams. And so, like, I just think that like that's what's brought me around, and not like the that they're a great organization, Shay's good, but like just when you look at the numbers and like what they've shown us, they've actually been good. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. I definitely feel it. I'm not like saying the Thunder end all be all second best team in the. I wouldn't be shocked if the Clippers beat them and were in the Western Conference Finals 100%. Um, Sticking in the West, my second player flag. It's a little bit more of a like hypothetical. Victor Wembanyama will win a championship before Luka Doncic. And now everyone says Luka's the MVP every year. I wouldn't be shocked if Wemby won an MVP before Luka. But like when it comes to a championship, I think you have to take into account where each team is. And so like the Spurs are far away, but like the Mavs aren't close either. So like if we take into account like what Wemby can be in the next 3 years, I don't think it's that far off to be like he can will them to a chip easier than Luka can. And like when you look at if we take into account coaches like Jason Kidd and Greg Pop, what? Like I don't think it's that crazy of a prompt. I would plant my flag on Wemby does win a chip before Luka.
God bless, bro.
What's on your mind?
What immediately what came to my mind was, what if Lucas just says he wants out? And
And
Dallas is
then
like,
some team would probably have to give up everything they have to get him, and then
made,
he would go to a shit team.
I watched a guy who said he wanted out, and a team give up everything they had to get him, and they won a championship.
Are you talking about Anthony Davis?
Yeah. So if the Nuggets were like, "Hey, we're going
That
to
team
give you,"
also had the greatest player to ever play, though.
if the Nuggets said, "We'll give you everything we have, just give us Luka. You can have Michael Porter Jr. You can have whoever you want. You want Jamal Murray? Take him. I just want Luka."
Didn't even think of that.
That's the part that's playing in my mind. Now, if you're telling me he is staying in Dallas and Wemby is staying in San Antonio, I would go with Wemby.
Okay, and that's how I was thinking about it. But let's think about it and Luka ass out, because he very well could. Jason Kidd gets fired this offseason, Kyrie gets traded, and then he's right back where he was. And he says, I'm done with this shit. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah, I just can't. I don't see Dallas being able to retain. But that's today's NBA. Do we know that Luka's that kind of guy? Like, because we're not in the situation.
Do we know that Luka Jokic works?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. That's
okay.
Jokic. I'm not worried about that. I mean, to play style alone, I think that if Luka's your best player, you're not. Until he learns to be an efficient and effective off the ball player, I don't think he can.
Well, he won't be the best player in that scenario, so.
Right.
But is he okay with not being the best player on the team? Because he's never not been the best player on his team. So
that's not like you're clearly not like that's 1A, 1B. Like night to night. I mean, shit, pick your poison. Like you get probably the two best playmakers in basketball right now.
But even 1A, 1B is a far cry from what Luka's been doing for the last couple.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's yeah. Don't do Kyrie like that. No, I don't.
Laker next year, so don't worry.
That might be the toughest plant your flag you've ever asked me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll plan it on the fact that Wemby wins one before Luka.
Okay, we're aligned. When it comes to MVP, are you the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think Wemby could get squeeze out a top three, squeeze out like a top 3 seed by like next year.
Yeah, like 2 years from now,
yeah,
average 30, 12, 4 blocks, and then it's like,
he's 50, 40, 90 DPOY.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's 100% going to win a defensive player of the year within the next 2 years. So
yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so what's your last plant your flag?
My last plant my flag. Actually, I have a question for you before I get to that.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it. Is Wemby elevating the way he has make us undersell how good Chet is?
1,000%
Because
because
Chet
I
is
feel
unreal,
like
bro.
before when he played, like people were talking about Chet like a generational guy, right? And like, and maybe not generational, but like one of the higher ceilings in the league. And now that Wemby is like actually generational, and you like see what that looks like, and you compare that to Chet, and like they obviously don't look the same, and especially as quickly as Wemby looks like this,
Yeah.
I think it's definitely made people be like, ah. But I think Chet is still in like we're comparing him to someone that we say is generational, right? Like compare him to a normal top, like compare him to a regular player, or not even regular player, a regular top 15 guy. Chet is still like what Chet can be is still miles ahead of that.
That's what I'm
So like,
saying.
yeah,
Like, Chet is so good, bro. And like Wemby is truly, assuming he can stay healthy, is truly going to be this generation's LeBron.
mm-hmm.
I
And
think
like
he's
I was on like the oh it might be Kristaps Porzingis, but like no, it's not. It's
nah,
not that. It's
he's
not that.
different, bro.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
so different. But like Chet is phenomenal. Like the fluidity at his size, the passer he is, the defender he is, the catch and shoot numbers are great. I mean,
Keep in
does he
mind, this
need?
is also his rookie year.
Yeah, like
Like,
Chet is nuts. Chet is absolutely in a normal human basketball season. He wins Rookie of the Year
yeah, yeah,
unanimously.
yeah,
Like,
easily.
yeah. So, anyways, that is. I was just curious. All right, my next planter flag, Paolo.
No way. Mine is also about Paolo.
Paolo is the same level asset as Jayson Tatum.
Holy shit. Mine's is so close that Paolo's the same level asset as Jayson Tatum.
Let me throw you something real quick.
Go.
We're in year 2. Paolo's averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He's led his team to the 4 seed in the East on 46, 36, 70 splits. In year 3, Jayson Tatum was 23, 7, 3, 45, 40, 81 splits.
I would say, and we've talked about this before, I would say that they are the same level of asset. I would play my flag that they are because I think, and so my player flag has to do with ceilings, right? And so, like, if I think Tatum's ceiling is best player, championship team, whatever, top 3, whatever, I also think that is Paolo's ceiling. Like if I look at if the Magic can whatever team it is, who gives a fuck? What he's the best player. I think he can be the best player on a team that wins the championship. And I can't say that about 98% of the NBA. So like if I'm valuing Paolo at that, then like I think I have to say that they're the same level of asset because those assets are so few and far between, right? Like there's maybe 7 people I'd say that about. And so I wouldn't say that about Ja. I think Ja's amazing. I wouldn't say that about him. I wouldn't say it about I might not say it about Book. I think Book's really good. I don't know that Book, and granted, he's been to a NBA Finals. He's been what 2 games, 3 games away from winning a chip, but like he didn't win it, so it proves that he's not. And so like I don't know that I'd say it about him, but I would say it about Paolo. I would say it about Wemby. I would say it about Tatum. I would say it about Giannis. I'd say it about Jokic. I would say it. I think I'd say it about Luka. And so like yeah, I would say they are the same level asset.
I think if you told me in 3 years that, maybe not 3, if you told me in 4 years that Paolo's better than Jayson Tatum, I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be. I might be. I might be shocked. I
I
don't.
wouldn't be shocked. Like
I wouldn't be shocked, but I'd be like, "What happened to Tatum?
is he
Like,
okay?
how did this happen?" Like,
No, I watching Paolo is like a spiritual experience for me. And he's not like the most efficient guy right now. Like I said, he's 46, 36, 70.
no, but like in year 2 with that Magic team where he's asked to do everything on a nightly basis, like
With no
he's
spacing.
he's
No
pretty far
spacing.
along, you know? Like
No spacing.
he makes it work.
And I had tweeted this. Or maybe I take no, I don't think I tweeted this. I think I texted Khalil this. That this is like the beginning of the season. I was like, I think Paolo's ceiling is like Amari Stoudemire with handle.
Mm.
And now I think it's like some shit we ain't seen before, bro. At his size, I mean, because people talk about the LeBron thing, like he really does look like a 36-year-old LeBron. And it's so weird. Like there's no reason for a 20-year-old to look like a 36-year-old LeBron. But like the movement, the way he plays, his pace, his tempo, like the way he uses his body to get angles, and because he's not the fastest guy in the world, like, and he's still a good athlete. But like just the way Paolo plays is everything you want in the cornerstone of your franchise.
And like I think now when it comes to like the way people evaluate NBA players, or like even the way they talk about them on Twitter and shit, like it's very much so like, what have you done for me lately? And like trying to look at who they are now and project that across 5 or 6 years. But like
right.
you don't know what that looks like. Like if you look, he's 20 years old, right? Like Jayson Tatum at 20 and Jayson Tatum at 26 are two vastly different players.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that leap is big. Like that's a
Yeah,
large
it's
gap.
massive.
And so like if you take Paolo and you give him that same gap, and like it's hard to project, it's insanely difficult to project, but like just give him the benefit of the doubt. If you do that, like that's an insanely good player.
Yeah, I think like Paolo is gonna at some point in his career, Paolo is gonna be in the conversation for best player in the NBA. That's how good I think Paolo is. Paolo is what I wanted Cade to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like genuinely, because like
you hit on one, baby.
yeah,
Might hit
well,
on two. It's a lot of time, a lot of game left. It comes to Cade.
yeah, I mean Cade's literally like 21. Like he's got time. But he won't be Paolo. I mean, Paolo's probably 7 feet tall, 7 feet tall,
Yeah.
and is 250 pounds. Great court vision, mid range is butter. Doesn't care to post up. Gets to the foul line. Great. I mean, and he's shooting 36% for three.
At 20 years old, like
More
as the
does he need?
leader of a team, and averaging most points, rebounds, and assists, like
With no spacing.
with no spacing. Yeah, like I don't necessarily think what Paolo's doing this year is being as like crazy as it should. And so my last plant your flag, which I think we pretty much already covered, but we'll just say it for shits and gigs. Paolo
Sure.
Banchero has a higher ceiling than Anthony Edwards. I would plant my flag on yes.
Yeah, 100%. And that's
Cool.
it's not because Ant's not phenomenal, but it's the fact that Paolo's 6'10" and 250 pounds.
And I was just about to say that, like, they can be the same level shooter, they can be the same level playmaker, they're both athletic, they can both, let's say they both, like advance to a defensive level that is like we consider to be great perimeter defenders. At the end of the day, like Ant's not growing. Ant's not going to be 6'11". Ant's not going to be 250. So like I would give it to Paolo when it comes to ceiling. And yeah, that's our three player flags. The very last thing that I didn't even tell you I was going to ask you, but I thought about it, was when I was doing the plant your flags things and the ceiling thing, I started to think like I think we would agree Wemby has the highest ceiling of any player in the league.
Yeah.
Cool. And I said Paolo Anthony Edwards. When it comes to ceiling, would you take Luka or SGA?
Oh, that's hard to say because I don't want to say Luka's at his ceiling because he gets better every year, but like, is Luka going to become a defender? Like, is he going to start playing
No.
defense at a high level? Like, what is Luka really going to improve on? Maybe he shoots the three ball at a 40% clip. But he's already a dangerous
Like
shooter.
if Luka's like a 36 point per game scorer and Shai's like a 32 point per game scorer, that plays better defense. Like
Yeah, I mean, I think Luka could easily average 36 a game.
easily.
Yeah. But I think Shai may average 30 for the next 7, 8, 9 years.
So
Higher
higher
ceiling. Hold on. Let me look at something.
if I had to say, I would still probably say Luka because I think he's like the more special talent. Like I just think he's more dynamic. I think he's probably he's easily the better playmaker. And I just think like he can take over a game and he can be more of a game changer than Shai can be. Uh, and so yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's close, but I would say Luka has the higher ceiling.
Yeah, all that's I mean, basketball player for basketball player, I would say Luka's got the higher ceiling. Now talk about like fitting into a group. I
Easily
mean,
Shai. Easily
yeah.
Shai.
Yeah. But in terms of what Luka brings to the table, dude, outside of Jokic, I don't know if there's anybody in the NBA who has the ability to win a game by themselves the same way that Luka does.
Mm, mm, okay. I think that that would actually be a really good conversation to have, which is great because we have to record next week too. I'm not letting you get out of it. So yeah, we'll talk about it then. My last one for you was ceiling John Morant or LaMelo Ball.
Ja.
I think I would agree. I think I'd agree. Yeah. I think I'd say Ja has a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Boom. And so that is our first basketball podcast of the 2024 NBA season. And I think it was a fucking girl. Um, and so yeah, make sure you subscribe to Run It Up Podcast. Pretty much everywhere podcast can be found. Leave the 5-star rating and review. You can follow us on not on Instagram, on Twitter at Run It Up Pod. You can follow us on TikTok at the Run It Up Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Just look up the Run It Up Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Najee Justice on Twitter at JReed_. Khalil on Twitter at Valil44. And
I always shout out Khalil.
because I always shout you out when you're not here.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah, I hope you see this, Khalil. You hope you see who really got your best interest.
He's not fixing to see this, bro.
No shot. He's listening to 1 hour and 29 minutes. But yeah, I hope you guys have a litty day, a litty night, a litty life. And just like we do on every episode of this podcast, make sure y'all go run it up. Run it up.